the point of attack and not giving ground.
Second and 9.
Ready.
And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And he'll scratch out only about a yard up to the 32.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. An early tough test on the opening drive. This is 3rd and 8. To throw is Brissett. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he is going to have the Raiders first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
I'm not sure that was necessarily a safety valve or a check down throw on 3rd down. Sometimes just try and find the open guy and get him the ball. He did exactly that and found a way to pick up a first down.
A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Speed is the name of the game when it comes to RPOs, and sometimes you can be a little too quick, thus inaccurate, incomplete.
Watson going to get this one out wide. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. They've got another first down. The Raider passing game clicking on all cylinders right now.
You don't always expect tight ends to be big in terms of run after the catch, but after that play, he joins a growing band of players that's putting that stereotype right on its ear.
On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. That's some good hard running there as he'll push his way forward for about 5. Decided to hand it off that time on the run-pass option.
Appeared to be an easy decision. Just gave it inside. Nice steady gain.
Now 2nd and 5.
60 Maverick. 60 Maverick. Hey. 70 Rangers. 70 Rangers.
Play clock down to 2, and we get a signal and a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Here's a 2nd and 5.
79 Broncos.
Throwing, Brissett. And this is dropped. Oh, boy. A chance for a big play early, but he could not secure it.
And that is not what you expect from a receiver of his caliber. Sometimes you get a little ahead of yourself. You don't look it in, and all of a sudden it's on the ground. A surprise to all.
Panther 11. Panther 11. Get up. Trap 60. Trap.
Here's Brissett. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And the hole closes quickly here. He can fight only to about the 4. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal.
Here's where we need to see some tenacity from this defense because they've been pushed right down the field on this opening drive. They've got to find some way to push back, and that's a good first step.
2nd and goal from inside the 5.
Let's go.
And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. And trying to push forward, but he is going to be stuffed up in the backfield. Second quarter from Vegas. The homestanding Raiders with a football here, as they'll see what they can do on 3rd and goal.
Got it. Ready? Ready.
One back in the backfield. He'll get the carry. And he's in. Touchdown, Raiders. A 5-yard touchdown run. And the Raiders post the first points of the ball game as they take the lead here in this second quarter. The extra point splits the uprights, and it's now a 7-0 game. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And Thomas just going to hold on to this one. It's a touchback. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Back to throw. Fields. He'll buy some time right. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
Well, that was actually throwing game 101 right there. You challenge double coverage like that, you're liable to get burned. Fortunate that was just incomplete.
They'll send the tight end in motion left. Now run straight ahead with Warren. And he'll be tackled just past the 35 at the 36. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Fields now to throw. Flush to his right. And he goes out right around the 39. Call it a pickup of 3, and also now likely a punt on their opening drive.
He didn't like what he saw downfield, decided his best course of action was to take off and run. And that ended up being a gamble that did not pay off for him. Now they would have to gamble again if they want to keep this series going.
They snap it to Fields. That is caught. And he'll go out near midfield at the 49. A big roll of the dice on 4th and 1, but it pays off. They convert. I don't know if I agree with that. I guess they don't care if I agree with that. But, boy, you have to be surprised by that, right?
I definitely was surprised that they decided to go for it in this situation. But they must have either felt like they either had a great play call on, or they're trying to show extreme confidence.
Now Fields. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Another connection between the two. This one good for 12 and a 1st down.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. And now Metcalf going to get a chance to run. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. He'll lose a yard on the play, so now they need 3 yards on 3rd down.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
To throw is Fields. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down.
This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. They came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
So they'll pass on what would have been a 49-yard field goal attempt, and they're going for it on 4th down. Slot man moves right. On 4th down, Fields. Pass to the sideline and pulled in. And out of bounds all the way down at the 3. Wow, 1st and goal, and defensively all they can do is shake their heads. Not only did they allow the conversion, but a big play as well.
we go.
One. Touchdown, Pittsburgh.
Boy, 2 long, sustained drives by each team to start things out. It's kind of similar to how the pitch clock has shortened baseball games. That means we'll be out of here quickly if we get a few more drives like that. We're in the second quarter now, and we've only had 1 drive apiece, each of which have ended with touchdowns.
Extra point right down the middle. And that is going to tie our game as we approach halftime. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. And no run back forthcoming, so this will come out to the 30. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity.
Does the big boy have the juice? He may go. And he will score. Touchdown, Las Vegas. A big play there with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Raiders have taken the lead. And always a good first half when you can hit pay dirt twice.
And it never hurts to have that good feeling as the game moves on. Just think about halftime. If that's all he gets, he'll just sit there at the half and think, all right, 2 already. I can get some more. I can get some more. He'll be encouraging his offensive line to create some space.
On is the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. And we will not have a return. They'll bring this to the 30. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least 1 practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
Now then, after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23. Here's Fields. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. And they're going to be set up in the red zone right around the 17-yard line. An unfortunate sequence there, trying to get points before intermission, but now the interception, and their opponents have a chance to possibly pad their lead.
Yeah, they had an opportunity there, and they weren't able to capitalize on it, and that's something that could come back and haunt them later. They're begging their defense now to keep them from scoring before the half ends.
And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. 95 yards rushing for him now with a couple of touchdown runs to boot.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
And he's going to press this one forward as they stop it right around the 1. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half. They'll try to run this one in. And he's over the line and in for a Raider touchdown. A great effort there in the final seconds of the first half. And the Raiders will extend their lead here just before halftime. Point after, right down the middle. And it's now 21-7. So just 8 ticks remaining here in the first half as they'll kick this one away. And no chance to see a return on the dynamic kickoff. They'll move this out to the 30-yard line. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And with 8 seconds on the clock, really not a lot of time to try to put anything together. Oh, everything falling apart now. Another one intercepted. And the Raiders will have solid field position here as they take over at their 45-yard line. Second straight drive now here, Charles, that have ended with an interception.
And I just wonder, because I don't think it's going to rattle him necessarily, but I also wonder if it's going to unnerve him a little bit. Does it lead to another one, or does he find a way to pull it together?
And he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of this first half of play. So we have reached halftime here in Vegas with the Raiders on top. As we send you to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth ready for quarter number 3. The Steelers going to get the football first here, trailing on the scoreboard as we are back underway on EA Sports. And we will not see a return of the dynamic kickoff, and the first drive of the second half will commence from the 30-yard line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And right out of the gate, they face what you'd think could be a pretty important drive.
I would say so. You know, they're down 2 scores. That's not the end of the world. It wasn't the strongest of first halves, but for them to start clawing back, they've got to start putting a little pressure on that defense, start cutting into this deficit. You can't have 3 and outs and expect to get that done.
Now 2nd and 9. A play fake, now Fields to throw. Out to the left there and complete to the tight end Goddard. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. That his first catch so far. They've held him under wraps, but he's got a first down there. Warren will try the right side. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first. Defense really kept him in check running the football in the first half. Maybe that'll be a spark for him here in half 2.
So 2 words come to mind for me. Resilient, because he has to keep bouncing back after some limiting runs. And how about relentless? Keep going, knowing that you may pop one as he just did there.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And he's able to work his way down inside the red zone to the 19-yard line. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a first down.
They're making it look easy out there. Another first down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 first downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success. Fields rolling to his right. And it's caught. And in for the Steelers touchdown. Dallas Goedert from 19 yards away. And the Steelers have got it back to within a score. That's a score you felt they had to have here in the third quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there was an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard, you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
Now Mike Tomlin says, let's go ahead and go for 2. They don't get the 2-point conversion here. So unable to throw it in for 2 from the 2. Let me ask you, as a former DB, what changes there around the goal line on a 2-point conversion as far as how you're defending it?
You just make sure you never back up and you never retreat. You establish yourself really on the line of scrimmage, put your heels on the goal line at worst, and if they're going to throw the ball, make them throw it over your head because they're going to run out of space because of the back of the end zone. Never let a guy catch one in front of you.
So the lead trimmed down to 8 as here comes the kickoff, and it's away. And no run back here. That's going to be a touchback, and we'll bring it out to the 30-yard line. The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. But Charles, they still have the lead despite their defense giving up a touchdown on the previous possession. And even though they have that lead, it feels like a back-and-forth ball game where to try to get momentum back, maybe they need at least 3 here on this drive.
I think you're right about that, Brandon, because your game plan doesn't change. I do believe your urgency does because of the last score that went against your team. So what you want to do now is have your own drive and try and make sure that momentum stays in your camp.
111 yards for him on the ground now and 3 touchdowns to go along with it.
Here we go.
It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. A few moving pieces on that play because that was an RPO, was it not?
It was, but one important piece that didn't move incorrectly, the offensive line. Because when you're running this play, as he continued down the line of scrimmage, sometimes the lineman can wander downfield. And if you're more than a yard downfield, it's illegal to throw the football at that point. But they held their ground, held their spot, and turned it into a nice game.
They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
Go.
And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter. You are watching Madden Ultimate Team on EA Sports.
Get it.
Right back to him on first down. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. A pickup of 10, and it's enough for a Las Vegas first down.
I think we're seeing the effect that runs like that are starting to have on this game. They're a little bit slower, that front 7 reacting to the football, almost like body blows in boxing, slowing them down, and they're really starting to take over in this game.
First carry now for A.J. Dillon. Down at the 35, it'll be second down. At this stage of the game, with the score where it is, the key here is stay in bounds, and he did just that. Not by a huge margin, but he stayed in.
And those come up in what we like to call winning edge meetings. The things that you have to do, late game situations, kicking situations, doesn't matter what it is, the things you have to do to win a game, and that comes up in that meeting, then you practice it, you've got to be happy to see it executed, being able to stay in bounds and work the clock.
Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's third down. Now, the objective there, I mean, yes, the positive gain, that's nice, but work some clock.
Yeah, you're exactly right, but the problem for them is still within a possession, so they can't just sit on it running the ball. They'll have to find a way to throw it effectively as well.
60. Ready? 19 tight, 19 tight.
Whistles now in a timeout defensively. So a wise move as they'll use the first of their timeouts to force one more play before the 2-minute warning. This will be the 8th play of the drive. It's 3rd and 7.
Ready, ready. Ready, ready.
Here's Brissett. Oh, the slant connects with Devontae Adams. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers.
You talking about Let's do something else with that. That's what she said. She said, say less. Say less. 'Cause you already got me, baby. Say less. Say less. Talking's only slowing us down. Say less.
I'm a gentleman, baby, and a dog with a bite. I just wanna nibble on your night. So sentimental when I step in the middle. When I do a little dance, till it turns daylight. So jump, in a moment. Margella got me feeling iconic. And if you can't groove, she don't want it. Great sex, say less.
Baby, what you talking about? Let's do something else with that. That's what she said. She said, say less. Say less. 'Cause you already got me, baby. Say less.
Quarterback of season to swing that out. 8 an award. One bite at a time.
You let your hips do the talking. You leave with me, no options. Say less, say less. You stop the room when you walking. You let your hips do the talking. You leave with me with no options. Say less, say less, say
Brock, I think it's safe to say this has been a defensive slobber knocker through two, right? Maybe some points finally on the horizon as we resume play. Field flipping return as he brought it down on the opposite side of the 50. Out come the Raiders. They'll have it first to begin the